All right. Fire them up!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and the genres that define us. This is episode number 64. I am one of your hosts. Doug Jones with me, as always, are my amazing co-hosts and two of the best friends in the world. First off, we have the one, the amazing, the wonderful Mr. Nick Johnson. What's up, my man? How's it going?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Round two.
No, that animation, that intro was fucking fire, bro.
I appreciate the confidence, man.
Shout out to you for making it, man. That shit was dope.
Thank you. Dope. And he's back, everyone. The prodigal son has returned. The founding member of the Genre of Life podcast and Midway Avenue Productions. The one, the amazing Mr. Hollywood himself. It's the incredible, the amazing Mr. Moses Lowry. Welcome back to the show, my friend. We missed you.
Hey, man. It's great to be back. I appreciate, always being here and everything like that. And, yeah, that was a really, really great intro, by the way, too, as well. I want to put that out there. It was fire.
It was fresh. It was fun. It was dope.
I appreciate you guys, man.
but yeah, man, it's been great. I'm happy to be back on here and everything, get things rolling. So yeah.
Nah, man, this was a long time in the making, long time in the coming for doing the video podcast, of course, and we're finally doing it. Again, my apologies to everyone last week to listen to the show. My dumbass didn't hit the unmute button for the first 30 minutes, and I thought I had the GarageBand thing going too. I have recorded locally on my Mac. That'll be fine, right? Go to GarageBand for the show. I said, "That's some shit." I said, "That is some shit." And I was like, "Crap." I said, "Wait." Hopefully this time I've learned my lesson going forward, and I think we're gonna be in the
you remember?
Hey, it happens to the best of us,
Right?
No, exactly. It's all a learning process. But you remind me just right now of in Rush Hour when it was like when Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, like when they first met, when he got off the plane, he's like, "I cannot believe this shit." That's when we saw that. It was the 30 minutes, bro. But listen, man, it happens. We just try to learn and improve, so it won't happen again. But
Well, I felt so embarrassed because like Nick had a great mid thought about Morbius, whatever, or topic we're talking about, and I looked at the corner of my eye. I said, shit. And I said, okay, I won't say anything. I'm finished the talk. And after we finish, I'm like, hey man, by the way, at a court, that's fine, man. We have to get the audio still. You have the audio still. Go to GarageBand. Nothing. I said. Shit. And I said, all right, well, bear with us. Again, we're more of an audio podcast. We're doing video, of course. So bear with us. We all can't call her daddy or Joe Rogan or, whoever. So, bear with us.
One of these days, yeah.
One of these days, man. We'll get there, obviously. But of course, you all are here. Welcome back to the show. Of course, you can find the show now on YouTube, our full video show on our YouTube page, Midway Avenue Productions. And of course, find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube Music. Find us on there. Again, if you're new to the show, welcome. New coming back to the show, welcome back. Please share us the word. Share us with your friends, family, movie fans, podcast fans, stuff like that. To our Apple Podcast listeners, please help us get to 200 ratings on Apple Podcasts. We need your help getting that. That's our goal for the past couple of months because Apple Podcasts is the nucleus of the heart of radio podcasting and for film podcasting, of course. So help us get that. We get more stuff to do for more coverage for screenings and festivals and conventions, stuff like that. So help us out there. And of course, follow our YouTube page. Our YouTube is growing now thanks to the video. And our audio and our video went out. Bear with us, everybody. Bear with us. You can't see us, huh, Moses?
No, I can't.
Are we hiding? Oh, we're back. We're back.
You can see that.
Like I said, for the first few episodes, I think of video podcasting, we're gonna find our groove, of course. So
we just working out the kinks. We're just working out the kinks. That's all it is.
Again, we have the $20,000 equipment that call her daddy or what is Shannon Sharp's podcast too? Oh, Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
Club Shay Shay. Yeah.
And I think we're frozen again. So bear with us. We're learning.
Do we need to press the?
I wanted to hit that. I think it's because we're using an external camera this time. We're a little high tech this week with an external camera. So there we go. There we go. So bear with us. So again, Follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms, and of course now on YouTube, the full video show. So check us out on all podcast platforms and YouTube and our socials, of course. So that is that. All right, guys. So this week got a lot of things. Of course, the trio is back. Of course, the grand return of all three of us are back. But Moses and I saw a movie you saw it this week. I saw it last week called Y2K, a movie that I can't say I'm raving about. If you saw my had a theater reaction on YouTube or Instagram, and I was I could have been a little more brutal with it. But first, for our audience, if you don't know what Y2K is, not the thing that happened a couple of years ago. This is a fictionalized comedic horror version of what could have happened if the robots or the internet took over. And this is made by Kyle Mooney, and I'm pulling up the IMDb right now. Y2K, actually, you know what? Let's pull up a visual too. You know what? We're kind of getting cool our visuals.
It's a visual medium now. I think it's time.
It's time. It's time.
It's time for us to elevate to the next level.
So
you feel me?
Yeah, let me share this now. So, Y2K movie. There we go. Yeah, get the visual now. Look at that. We're beyond Y2K at this point. Y2K follows the story of two high school nobodies as they make the decision to crash the last major celebration before the new millennium on New Year's Eve, 1999. The night becomes even crazier than they could ever dreamed of when the clock strikes midnight. And this is made by Kyle Mooney, who is a SNL alum. All right, Moses, your thoughts first. What do you think of Y2K?
So it's funny because I just saw it today, so it's fresh
Okay,
from my mind.
Okay.
And everything. So I went in there thinking about the thoughts you basically had told me, thinking about the ideas you had told me about, about the film and about how it felt like it was made from a first-time filmmaker, not really had made any other shorts or anything like that in the past. And, I thought about that and I was like, okay, let's see what he's talking about here and everything. I went in and it's funny because I was, I sat down and I started watching it, and to be honest, that thing just cracked me up. If I'm being honest with you, like it wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, this is like hilariously funny. This is funny as in like, this is really, really funny or whatever. But it was silly funny in a way, and everything. And I can tell, of course, like from maybe he wasn't a, first-time filmmaker, Kyle Mooney and everything, but I watched it in a way where I take this in and just kind of watch it in a mindset where I don't have to think so much about it and just let it be, what it is, which is, something that kind of feels almost like slapstick or whatever, and I literally sat down and I don't know, it's cracked me up. There's a few scenes, first of all, like, is this a spoiler review, by the way?
Go ahead. No offense.
Okay.
No, you know, I'll probably watch it on streaming.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, no, I don't want to spoil anything like that. But I mean, some of the, things, that they had and everything like that, you can definitely tell, okay, this is definitely, fake and whatnot, it's prosthetics and everything like that. So you can easily tell from a real hand to a fake hand and everything like that, but it was the first movie this year where it was very much just like a movie where I was like, man, this is very silly, but in a funny way, and I thought Rachel Zegler, did a good job, and also the other lead, I'm forgetting his name, and everything. I thought they did a good job on I think Jaden.
Jaden Martell, from It.
Yeah, and I thought they did a good job. Sort of like like letting me follow the story and everything. And it's not the best film I've seen this year. I think it's more on the side of like being like the most like silly, and I'm okay with that. And that's what I liked about it. I was the only one in the theater. By the way, I was the only one.
Oh wow!
It was just me.
Story of my life recently.
It was just alone. You know what I mean? And with the popcorn and everything like that, and I was just laughing, and that was it. I was just enjoying myself. I had a great time. I wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 stars and whatnot. But I
Damn,
would
what would
say
you give it?
what?
What would you give it?
I mean, probably like probably a five, probably a 5 or 4 out of 10. And this is like like a good five out of 10.
Mm.
You know, too as well. So and yeah, it definitely takes you back a little bit, back in that era, back in time a little bit. In the early 2000s, a
Love
little
the early
bit.
2000s.
With the music. You
Mm.
know, and with the clothes and just with the vibe in general, you feel like okay, this is definitely set in the past and everything like that. So and yeah, man, it's just a funny like slapstick comedy that I definitely enjoyed. Completely different opinions.
No,
I definitely understand that for sure. Yeah.
absolutely. That's the beauty of film, right? All film is subjective. Again, the trailers didn't sell me, but you know what? It's A24. You got Jonah Hill producing. Kyle Mooney, to me, is kind of hit or miss on SNL. So, I'll give it a chance. And I'm not gonna lie. I think the first 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is really funny. This is funny. Like, a lot of funny jokes. There's like funny at the parties, but it's kind of funny things at the party that they go to is kind of funny, or at the video store is kind of funny. But then, right when it becomes a horror sci-fi movie, that's when I was like, you lost me, because like it tries to be like a comedy, horror, sci-fi, coming of age, and a drama. And when it wants to be serious, I never believe them. I was like, do you want to be serious? Are you still like a jokey joke or like sci-fi horror? And that's where it lost me. Where I was like, you're trying to do all these different genres and tones all in one movie. You should have picked the two and just stick with it. If you're doing more comedy sci-fi, probably would have worked better. But when the horror happens, you're kind of just like, wait, what now? And when the horror happens, it's pretty gory. You're just like, oh dear lord.
So it seems like it didn't really mix all that well, huh?
It didn't, and you can tell that I don't think Kyle Mooney was ready to make a genres of movies like all in one, where it's like it wants to be like Terminator at one point, then it wants to be like a really like fucked up like robot like horror movie, then it wants to be a comedy, it wants to be super bad at one point, then it wants to be like mid '90s at one point, where you're just like, okay, again, I appreciate you have like this love for this, and you grew up in the '90s, obviously you would love for this like era because you were a kid, you were the age of this time, of course, but it just didn't seem like it wasn't consistent. Mm-hmm. And when the comedy was kind of funny the first 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is kind of funny, whatever. There's a funny joke at the party about like someone like who has an erection. That was kind of funny. You know that part where she's like, oh my God. That was kind of funny. But also too is that they kill off a lot of main characters really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of someone who hasn't seen the movie, I do kind of like that, where it's just like, damn, not to sound like weird, but it's like I like that where it's like, damn, anyone could get in this movie.
No, right, and again, I respect that, but it was like, wow, you really marketed this person, this movie a lot, and they're like really not in it.
Oh, it's like
they're in it for like for like a few minutes and everything. I think one thing he should have done better is that instead of killing these actors off or killing the characters off in general, it's just one thing about people in terms of audience is that we don't expect you to kill off anybody. We expect you to give us a level of suspense so we can feel that, so we can feel that these people might die soon and everything. And if you give us that level of suspense, we will be part of this, characters and everything like that you brought forth, and we're going to be watch them till the end. We're going to feel that suspense of them might die or being killed off any moment in time. And that's the one thing I feel like he definitely missed is the suspense side. One thing I definitely know is that Kyle Mooney is that I know he's from SNL and everything. And you can tell there's a lot of elements, right? That he took from SNL and brought it to Y2K.
Totally.
And what you said is true. You know what I mean? Because it's like I did where the lights goes off and somebody just like dies. I was like, wait, what the hell is this? What's going on here? You know? But I was like, wait, what? Are the people just like dying out of nowhere? What's going on? So that's the part I got confused. But the humor of it all just kept me going at the same time and everything. And I think that's the reason why I kind of just like let my hat go and just kind of watch it and let it be what it is. And yeah, and yeah, I do agree with you though in and the part where you basically said about like it being like 500 different like genres of a film putting into like one and not knowing exactly what to do with it. I definitely understand that. Because there's a lot of like where it's like you either want to be a coming of age story and everything, and then you want to be a horror film, and then you want to be a sci-fi and whatnot, and it feels out of place at the time. But the one thing I would say that he did good is its comedy element. You know what I mean? Coming from SNL, having that level of like weird like comedy, I thought that he did really, really good and letting me like appreciate that, I guess. And that let me stay in that chair, in that theater chair. It didn't let me move or decide to like not watch the movie or anything like that. I was the only one there, like I said. So,
Well, no, I was telling you that at our meeting, and I was saying that the woman behind me, she was having a good old time because she kept laughing at everything. She was like clapping. I was like, man, in my head I was like, man, I wish I was like you right now enjoying this movie. But I can't say I'm feeling the same way. But no, I think Kyle Mooney definitely has promise as a filmmaker. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like I just don't think he's really there. I think he should have been like someone said, oh, it's like super bad, but with like robots. I'm like, that would have been kind of cool. But he never kind of took it there in terms of like the comedy or like the sci-fi game sci-fi. But it's kind of like, okay, I guess. And also too, there's an ongoing, again, I don't mind ongoing jokes when they're done right in movies. Yeah. But there's an ongoing joke in this movie that was like, it's not funny anymore. The thing with the condom, where I was like, okay, like it pays off later to a degree, but I was just like, okay, just enough with this already. Like,
kind of beating you over the head with
it. And I was like, okay, we get it. But for the most part, the cast is pretty well. Again, I thought Ziegler did a pretty good job for the most part. Jaden Martell did good, and then what's Homeboy's name? He Deadpool 2.
I can find him in like 2 seconds.
Julian Dennison.
Yeah, Julian Dennison. He also did a good job.
He was funny.
Yeah.
He was funny. He was funny. He's kind of playing a more, I guess, a bigger Taika Waititi a lot. Like you can tell, like both from same country. It was like, oh yeah, he kind of big Taika, because I think he was in Taika's first movie as a director.
Was that with him and Sam Neill in it?
Yes.
Too? Was it like Hunt for the Wilder People or the Wild?
Hunt for the Wilder People. Yes.
You can tell that like he wants to be a Taika, like, or like kind of embodies Taika in his own way. Like, oh yeah, you see like Taika, like the humor and the kind of the way he kind of talks about stuff is very quirky, very Taika encoded.
Gotcha.
And I will say this again: I'm not a Limp Bizkit fan. People kind of hate Limp Bizkit. I thought Fred Durst was pretty funny. I thought Fred Durst was kind of funny because like he shows
these posters right here.
Yeah, he's where is he? He plays himself, because I remember at the time, like late '90s, like there he is.
That's him right there.
There he is.
I do like these posters though. I like this because again, it feels very like year 2000 for real.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
It's that style where it's like,
It definitely is.
It looks like.
I thought he was funny. I thought he was great.
Funny. There's a scene where they're like, he was like, "What's up? What's up?" And then someone in the background was, "Fuck you, Fred Durst."
Oh my god.
That was funny. And then he sings a fucking minor spoilers. He sings a George Michael song, and it's kind of funny.
Which George Michael song?
And I gotta have faith, and he sings it.
Damn, I didn't hear that one. That's the one I haven't heard yet.
Remember in Keanu, he sings it. Keegan-Michael Key sings it.
Because I saw Keanu. I don't remember that part, but
yeah, he sings it. He sings like Keanu. It's pretty funny. But he's in this, and it's like, oh man, like
when they were like in the car, and they were talking about the scars that they had. Was it in that scene?
No, it's a scene where like he's on that drug. And then he sees George Michael like in the dream. He goes, "Oh, this is my shit."
I gotta watch Keanu again.
Where's this scene where it was like, I love Keanu. Was a fucking hilarious movie. George Michael, yeah. No, when he goes in the scene in the car, he goes, "What the fuck is this?" He goes, "Oh shit, this my shit."
That movie was goofy.
It was it was like this part where he's like kind of on that drug. Yeah.
I don't fucking remember this, but it's like
it's this scene. You see George Michael in his dream. And he's tripping out, and the song that plays.
How did I fucking forget? I gotta watch this movie again.
We should. It's so funny. Yeah, he loves George Michael. And then the car, Jordan Peele is like, he's like, man, yeah, I'm real hood. He goes, what the fuck is this? And the song goes, this is my gay hype playlist, whatever he says. It's really funny. But yeah, so yeah, I know. I appreciate, again, obviously, like, what I said in my tweet too, I said, this is an A24 movie, of course, and we all know A24 can get really weird. I just thought, like, it was a little weird for them, but it wasn't like the weird that, like, of The Witch or like Beau Was Afraid or Hereditary or stuff like that. Like, oh, we've seen weird from A24 before. It's weird, but like not the way we're kind of like we like seeing with them. And I believe Jenna Ortega was originally cast as the lead, but I think due to Beetlejuice, she had to drop out. So I think she was replaced by Zegler. And another thing too is that there's some funny, again, if you're a hip hop fan, like 90s too, some kind of funny hip hop like jokes here and there, like from these characters a little bit. But again, it seems like this movie like just didn't know what it wanted to be. And I think Kyle Mooney should have had either more time to like write a better script, or also too, it was produced by Jonah Hill, surprise, surprise. And also it was produced by Christopher Storer. Christopher Storer is the creator of The Bear on Hulu.
For real?
Yeah, and I love The Bear so much. My favorite shows on TV right now. You're like, wow, you have these two people producing it. You would think that you have more like a better punch-up comedy, and it just wasn't. It was just like, huh. And
I mean, it definitely, there's definitely, that idea of it being, his first time, and essentially maybe the talks were about, hey, you can have all reigns. You can do whatever you want, with it. This is your story and everything. If you want to get all weird and everything like that, you can. So I think, those talks probably happened, to what we saw, the film come about, which is what we see now and everything. So, I think that, the director, Kyle, he's probably going to take a lot from this, because I'm pretty sure, like, how do I say this in a way that I don't think a lot of people want to go like see this movie.
It did not do well. I mean, also it premiered at South by back in March of this year, wow. And I think A24 picked it up like then, and then waited to put out like around New Year's, like Christmas time last week. And you're right. And I think out of South by Southwest, the reviews were very like mixed, and also too. That premiered in March of this year. There was no trailer for it until like late August. So you had now 5 months from premiere on South by to no marketing till end of August, which is kind of strange too. And the review, because most of the time when a movie at South by does like somewhat well, you hear right away like, oh my gosh, like here's a new trailer, here's new marketing for it. They waited 5 months for this movie to like kind of like either be forgotten and bring it back for the trailers back in late August, early September. Another thing too, I'm showing you this on. Do you know this group? Do you know this group called Film Threat, Moses, on YouTube?
Film Threads. Threat? No, I don't know. No.
So send me the link for that.
I got you. So they're based out of LA. They're like in podcasting too. They're really depth with their stuff, whatever. And one of the guys reported that apparently a year ago, before South by, they had a test screening, and they reported that the test screening was apparently way more funnier, a lot more gorier, a lot more scary, and that what we saw was a more kind of like Frankenstein chopped up version of this movie.
Why the fuck would they do that?
And I think what they said on the report was that they didn't like the comedy was too out there for them. And I'm like, okay, but if you're making a comedy. I mean, it's Kyle Mooney's from SNL of all places too. You would think you're hiring an SNL alum for a reason, like right. Give it a chance. So, and that's a rumor. That's just a rumor, a report that it was cut up. It was like chopped up a little bit because the comedy was too out there, and the horror was like too extreme. And I'm like, well. Unless I see that, then like the watered down version of what we got allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Watered down cookie cutter. Yeah. Also, they look like Spider-Man and Ned right there.
Yeah, no, right. That's what I thought too.
I'm like the poster for Spider-Man.
This could have been Jacob Batalon for all I care. I honestly Like it could have been him. I'm like, I don't mean mean, but like our typecast. But it's like, okay, you got like the heavier set friend, like okay, and like the skinny white kid. Like okay, that seems kind of like the typical like like Spider-Man and Ned thing. And there's Kyle Mooney right there too. So it yeah, I don't know. I'm giving this a 2 out of 10 because I don't hate this movie. I don't hate any movie except for Expendables 4 and I Swim. But at the same time, I wish they could have like again, if you're gonna pitch it as like super bad with like Terminator, I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. That's a cool pitch. But it never felt like super bad or Terminator. It feels like it's kind of this very watered down kindergarten version of it with like some like foul language here and there. So
no, I definitely don't see. I definitely did not see like the Terminator at all.
Thank you.
No, I definitely didn't. But not exactly in a bad way. But I just didn't see like where was the reference in Terminator? Was it the robots? I mean, was it the computers that had legs and they were able to move? I thought I was just, I
that
literally
sound like some scary shit though.
Yeah.
No, I mean it did, but they almost did like a practical. There was a scene where they had you saw the computer as a face, right, and everything like that.
Yeah.
You can easily
All
tell
practical.
like the human body in that suit.
Yeah, it was. You can tell.
So
yeah,
you can easily tell and everything, but maybe that's what he was trying to do. But I genuinely thought this. I genuinely thought this movie was very, maybe it's just me, maybe because I laugh, for everything, But I generally went
you're a good audience. You're a good audience.
And I was like, man, this is, it takes you back and everything like that. But it's not like the greatest thing in the world, but you're able to laugh, with it. I think, and to your point, Doug, and you said something about, one thing that you wished you were able to do is that, because the lady that was behind you, she was eating it up. She was laughing.
Loving
she was
it.
like,
loving
she
it.
was loving it. That's the thing
Yeah.
that I basically get jealous of sometimes too as well. Whenever I'm watching a movie, and whenever I don't laugh at something or I don't like it as much, but the other person next to me is enjoying it, I get jealous of the other person because it's like, yo, like, what do you see that I don't? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of base it around that and everything instead of me, hating this thing that I don't understand that's in front of me, and looking at a way where it's like I just can't appreciate it like the other person is. So, yeah.
No, I'm glad you saw. Again, I'm glad you saw. I mean, I'm surprised that you being in LA, like there was no one else there. That's pretty like rare for seeing a movie in LA. I feel like, or any kind of major city, like
yeah,
that, like, rarely happens.
It's Regal, Regal Cinemas.
Yeah, true.
This sponsors to Regal Cinemas. But no, yeah, it was just it was in downtown and everything, and I'm pretty sure people had already saw it already, and it was already kind of like 3 weeks in, or.
Yeah.
Was it a weekend or two? Tell me how many weeks has it been?
It came out this past Friday, so about a weekend. You saw it a weekend.
Yeah. So maybe people had already saw it already, and everything, and I was just one of the last people to go see it, like the vinyl person to go watch the movie. So, but yeah, man.
I'm pulling up on Rotten Tomatoes again. Most of the time here at the show, we don't really listen to Rotten Tomatoes as much. We have our own opinions on stuff, and we kind of disagree with them quite a bit. Rotten Tomatoes has it as 44 is not that great, but if your audience score is 50,
you mean 50 as well?
Yeah, 50 as well. Thank you, Nick. 50 as well, where you're just like, man. I mean, you would want some things to be 50. I mean, you want the audience score at least to be higher. I think nowadays too, because I think Rotten Tomatoes can be wrong. I think we definitely can argue against Rotten Tomatoes quite a bit on this show. About some movies, but 50. That's it's a shame. But again, there's probably one holiday horror sci-fi comedy. Pick one. Just pick one. And again, this is next week's show. A little tease for next week's show. But I'm checking right now. Let's check Craven right now. Yeah, surprise. Oh boy. Yeah.
13%. That's got me excited because now I really got to see why is it 13.
And let's just.
Oh dang, looks like we're frozen again.
Yeah, it's that lag for some reason.
It's just a slight delay.
13 on Rotten Tomatoes. No audience score yet. I think it's like around Morbius and Madam Web. So yeah, these people liked it, but that's a shame. But oh man, all right, yeah, guys. If you've seen Y2K, let us know in the comments, or you DM us on Instagram. We want to hear from you all. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or Spotify, Apple. We want to hear from you guys. And again, people were liking it. Again, I said in my theater, people were liking it. You being the only person in your theater, you somewhat liked it. So like, it's definitely like some people it's gonna work. I think people also love Kyle Mooney's kind of like dry humor and kind of like his kind of weird humor too. So hey, you know what? It might be for you, but it's not doing too well. But you know, that's the business of the movies, unfortunately, sometimes. But moving on to the main topic of the show tonight, what you want to bring up on Tuesday, Moses, which again really smart of you, was that as we're also Marvel fanboys here for the when it's done right for the most part. And the news dropped this week that Chris Evans is coming back in the Marvel. We don't know who or what he's coming back as, and it's a spoiler for Deadpool and Wolverine that we saw him back as
the Human Torch.
Yes.
Human Torch. So Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine. So that was a fun surprise too. But it's been reported now, I think, on all outlets on Tuesday that he's coming back. And you, Nick, said that you had a theory of who he's going to play. And what's your theory?
My theory is, so there was a comic, I think it came out like 2018, 2019, but it was basically, it was revealed that like this whole entire time Captain America had been a Hydra agent. And, you know, it was like blah, blah, blah. Like someone went back in time and changed some shit. Yeah, like Captain Hydra, I think is what they call him. Because like this, like go back.
Yeah, I'm pulling up right now.
Yeah, no, because that picture right there where he was saying like Hell Hydra, dude, like people was blowing up about that.
That one?
Like everyone, yeah, go down one because it was the comic panel. That's not bad. Fan art though. But yeah, this one right here.
Oh, where?
This is what people were freaking out over. So like I'm thinking like, okay, so y'all are bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Okay, cool. Little out there, but okay, cool. And like you're bringing back Chris Evans. Now either he's gonna come back as legit Steve Rogers Captain America, and it'll be like some sort of emotional impact type shit. He's seeing like a close friend of his as the ultimate evil now, or it's gonna be this Captain Hydra type shit, which would still be pretty cool. I feel like they should have done, if it is Captain Hydra, I feel like he should have been the main villain for the Sam Wilson Captain America movie. I feel like that would have been an interesting like juxtaposition, but
oh yeah, that's right.
Because it was like, you know, like when he, like hypothetically, if they were to go down the route, you have it where it's like, you know, like Sam Wilson, like he's doing this thing as Captain America, and then like Steve Rogers comes back, and it's kind of like throwing everybody off, like, like where have you been this whole time, like, you know, like blah 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 blah, and even like within like the Avengers group, it's like, okay, I thought you were all like old and shit like that, and now you're coming back all, you know, regular age, and you know, da da da, and then like this Hail Hydra part, that would be like the twist, and then you have it where it's like Captain Hydra versus Sam Wilson Captain America, and I was kind of thinking like, damn, that'd be pretty cool. But they didn't do that. So again, like my theory is like it would be really interesting if when Chris Evans comes back, if he came back as this Hydra agent version of Captain America, because it like I feel like it would be kind of it could potentially be a little bit weak if he just came back as Captain America himself. Like it would be cool and it would be, you know, like the fan service and everything, but it would be like. It would kind of feel like you're just like trying to milk the cow, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm like, you know, it'd be cool if he was just if it's like he comes back and he's like a variant where he's again he's just like a Hydra agent.
Yeah. It's I mean, I heard that he might be playing like a different character completely. You know.
Oh really?
Well. Yeah, I
heard that too, but it's like who else could he play?
I forgot who exactly, but maybe I might have misheard and everything like that. But he might be playing a completely different character. But I do think the only two logical like character he would play is either, you know, coming back as a different version from a different sort of like you know, from a different sort of like you know, universe as like Captain America and everything like that, or you have him play, you know, Captain Hydra, and those are the only two like you know, like I don't know, like realistic characters that people would assume that he might be.
Yeah, those are the only ones that seem to make the most sense.
It makes no sense. I mean, you know, people never thought that Robert Downey Jr. was going to come back and play Doctor Doom, and and here we are, right? So
That's true. Because wasn't no one saying like, you know who would be a good Doctor Doom? You know who I want to see come back in the MCU? Let me see Robert Downey Jr. come back as Doctor Doom.
No one wanted to see that.
It's actually kind of interesting that he's playing Doctor Doom because for the 05 movie, he had auditioned for that role.
Oh, that's right.
He had auditioned for Doctor Doom.
And he was like, it was during his kind of like getting out of rehab, kind of his comeback.
Yeah.
And look at him now.
You know, I got thoughts on this because it's like, it's funny to me because Chris Evans, I mean, 5 years ago, he was like, I'm fucking done with Marvel. Like, I'm done. Like, I want to do shit like Knives Out and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, though. I feel like out of a lot of the actors post his, tenure at Marvel, before now his movies weren't that good.
Who?
Chris Evans.
Oh, outside of the MCU?
Post MCU.
Okay, true. That, you know what? Yeah, because the only ones I ever saw was Knives Out and...
I mean, I'm pulling up right now.
I think that's it. Because I didn't see Gifted. I didn't see...
Well, that was still in between.
That was still in between, yeah.
Civil War, Infinity War. So his first big one was Knives Out. And again, that wasn't like, he wasn't the lead. He was part of the ensemble. So again, you also have Ryan Johnson writing it too. So you have like kind of like the... goodwill there. But I'm thinking right now, so Knives Out, Defending Jacob was, I thought as a show, I thought was pretty good. Is it the best thing ever? No, I thought it was pretty good. Free Guy was a cameo. Don't Look Up was a cameo. Lightyear did not work. Lightyear was a big flop.
You know, I liked Lightyear.
I did too.
It was solid.
But my problem with Lightyear though, till the end, we got Taika Waititi was a little kind of too annoying with his character. Taika was kind of a little too Taika.
I fucking forgot Taika Waititi was.
Yeah,
I remember Chris Evans and
I think it's not. People were kind of hating on it. It's not terrible, but it's like it didn't really feel like Toy Story. It didn't feel like the OG Pixar the way we like grew up with. So it's still it's
it feels like that new Pixar shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm like it's good, but it's like I'm a nostalgia kind of guy.
Ghosted, which I thought was.
This is why we'll never get anything original because of nostalgia. No, I'm kidding.
No, right?
You tell him, Moses.
Man, fuck it.
I'm kidding.
No, which one was Ghosted?
Ghosted. Dude, Ghosted. I watched this a year ago. It came on Apple TV, and I was like dreading watching this because it was like, it was not funny at all. It was so cringe. I'm gonna pull it up here on the.
Because I saw a clip where he was like talking about Anya de Armas's character like to his parents, and he was like, I think she might be the one, but it was like he was like taking pictures of her while she was asleep or some shit. I'm like,
this movie's weird.
What the fuck?
This movie is like, no, if you're a stalker, don't do this. Don't be a stalker. Don't do shit like this, please. Like, just walk away, man. Walk away. Just walk away. It's
also don't stalk.
Don't stalk.
Just in general.
Don't. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Literally, it's like this. It's telling you like, don't be a weirdo. Like this movie's saying this, and he's still a weirdo. And then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot my inhaler in her car, but I have an AirTag on it. And I said, okay.
On your inhaler?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then he like goes to her house, and I was like, bro, no.
What the fuck, bro?
I was like, bro, this is how you get fucking put in jail, my man. Like, no.
I'm not feeling these posters either. It's just too like.
And they have they chemistry in Knives Out, but like to that chemistry, it's nowhere near this movie. And I was watching this, I was like, yo, this movie is rough.
I heard that Scarlett Johansson was supposed to play that character. Was originally supposed to play.
She probably said, "Fuck the script." She probably was like, "I'm out." I think you're right, Moses. I remember hearing that too. But this was rough. And then I heard Pain Hustlers was terrible.
I mean, I like Pain Hustle. I thought it was good.
Really? Yeah. I started watching that a year ago. I was 20 minutes in. I had to stop because I was like, this wasn't for me. Like,
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed Pain Hustle. It wasn't like the best, like, like things that come out of Netflix and everything like that, but I kind of enjoyed it in some way. I mean, Chris Evans wasn't like my favorite character, in it. Of course, it was Emily Blunt, but I did think it was kind of unique in a way. I thought it was good. So Ghosted I did see too as well. The only parts that I liked about Ghosted were literally like the fight sequence, that they had. Those are kind of fun and everything that I could appreciate. So, but other than that, I don't really think Chris Evans has been anything where people were as a majority, people like gathered and like really, really loved and everything. I would say, and yeah. So I know he's coming back, you know, for his own reasons. You know, I don't know what the reasons are and
For
everything.
that
Like
check,
that money,
that mortgage payment.
I know why he's coming back, Moses. You ain't even got to guess.
That mortgage payment.
I mean, no,
We're just kidding, Chris Evans. We love you.
No. Of course, I know why he's coming back and everything like that. But
Yeah.
I think now what Marvel needs to do is to, because I thought like, man, we're gonna restart, not exactly restart, but we're going to move forward with this universe.
You would think
make
we're
sure
gonna refresh
this universe and everything. That's what I was hoping for. But I think since Secret Wars doesn't feel like it's that far away, I feel like they're probably gonna restart that refresh button and everything, like hit that refresh button literally after Secret Wars. I feel like that's when it's actually gonna start in terms of like that refreshness and everything like that of it all that Marvel, you know, is trying to do. Reason why they feel like they need to restart then is because of what COVID, I'm not what COVID, but COVID and also the strikes. You know, they were like, okay, we need money and everything like that. We need to make sure that we have capital, yada yada yada, here and there. Let's try to make the most of it and do the best we can to profit here. And I think that might have been, you know, one of the reasons too as well. So and yeah, you know, I'm one of the people that I'm just like, I don't think, you know, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans needed to come back, you know, at all. But I do appreciate that they're here, and I want to see what Kevin Feige, you know, is cooking. So let's see. So
I'm with that.
Yeah, obviously, like, as we grew up and like we experienced like the best run that Marvel ever had. I mean, you can't go. I mean, again, we saw from to Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, to Homecoming, Civil War. You name it. Like, that was like the great run. I think part of it is that I don't want to say this in a mean way, but I think part of it is that Marvel knows they lost a lot of their fan base the past couple of years. Yeah. Yes, there's some wins. Deadpool Wolverine's a huge win. No Way Home was a massive win. Wakanda Forever, also a win. But 3-ish wins out of kind of like a lot of hit misses the past couple years.
Because with all of those, you also had, you know, like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yep.
Which was not a win. You know, you had some of the Marvel series which just did not perform well. She-Hulk was, I don't want to say it was whack. It was whack to me, but it kind of seemed like that was, you know, a common consensus. But you did have some good shows. You know, you had Moon Knight, Loki.
Loki. WandaVision. WandaVision was also really good.
WandaVision was pretty solid. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was pretty good. Some of it, I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like some of the ending for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm like, I don't know about all that. Me personally, but
I was with you on that. I was let down with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was like, because someone's like, oh, it's gonna be like cool, like Winter Soldier, John Wick stuff. I'm like, oh yeah. Then I was like, no, it was not. It was not. So yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You also too, you're bringing back the Russos. You're bringing back your golden goose, basically golden goose or golden geese. I would say,
like them bringing back the Russos. One, obviously the Russos, they're gonna make good movies. They're gonna put their fucking foot in it. So like it's gonna turn out well. But it kind of feels like, damn, Marvel isn't really doing that well right now.
No, we
need to kind of go back and, you know, like get the Russos, because they only ever made good movies for the MCU, and it's like, you know, we're kind of, and I feel like that kind of ties into like, well, we need to bring back what people loved about the MCU, so let's bring back Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, the Russo brothers, the whole nine and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm wondering now, I'm like, okay, if Chris Evans is coming back, I feel like Scarlett Johansson might want to take a bite of this, you know, take a bite of, you know, this too as well, and really, you know, like join in essentially, you know. I tell you, but
money truck, man.
That's why they coming back
It's
right
coming
there.
back right here, man. It's coming back to this right now. Like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, no, no.
Back it up.
I mean, no, man. I mean, it's definitely true. And then Marvel does basically write, like we cannot lie here that Marvel doesn't write a big check because they do write fucking big checks to everybody.
Dude.
You know what I
They
mean?
got morbidly obese checks, man.
It's like for no reason. It's like they know that what they're giving you is basically like, $20, to them and everything. Because
they know we're going to eat it up.
You know what I mean?
Was Downey Jr. getting paid like 90 mil? But it was like across several films.
And remember, he gets back end points on those movies too. So the Russos get back end points too. So you remember, like Downey got a nice fat paycheck up front for both Infinity War and Endgame, but he got a percentage of the gross back end of the worldwide gross. So he made just unreal. Massive returns on those movies.
Unimaginable money.
Again, because both Endgame and Infinity War both made over $2.5 billion. So he made a back on off of those movies. And that's why Scarlett Johansson sued Disney, because when they did Disney Plus thing, whatever, she goes, no. I have a back end deal with the box office returns too.
Trying to fuck her over.
But see, the thing I'm questioned about Downey Jr. Again, good for him, get your money, whatever, for sure. But he's still getting a fat paycheck up front.
Yeah,
he's getting a huge payday up front plus the back end deal where it's like, okay, man. I mean, do you need also use one Oscar for Oppenheimer? Like,
I feel like they kind of, you know what? Because I wouldn't be surprised, because I don't know what the timeline of all of this was, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Oppenheimer was kind of part of the reason why he's getting such a big fucking paycheck for this, or even like why they brought him back, because it's like, bro. So not only did everybody love you as Tony Stark, but Oppenheimer was a huge success. You were a huge part of that huge success, and again, the MCU, Marvel, like we're kind of not. I don't want to say like failing right now, but it's not like Marvel isn't really on top nowadays like it was during like the first 3 phases.
No,
you feel me? It's like it's kind of struggling a little bit. It's like we need
that's crazy. I mean,
75 million
up front, 75
million.
Yeah, 20 million.
No, up front, 20 mil up front.
Yeah, 55. Yeah, 8% on the profits. That's 55 mil, dude.
First off, if I got that type of money, I would act like I didn't know y'all motherfuckers, man.
This would be Nick's podcast going forward.
I'm telling you right now. I'm like, I don't know y'all. If you want an autograph, you got to get in line. Like,
that's just for Endgame. Let's see.
That money would change my character.
Let's see Infinity War. Here we go. Oh my God. He got 75 mil for Infinity War too.
Was that upfront or
no? He got that was also a back end deal too. He got 70. He got 15. Oh, wow, 15 for Homecoming, man. Jeez.
He was in that movie for 18 seconds.
So he got 70. Wow, he got 75 mil for Infinity War and Endgame separately, and they filmed those back to back. Hey, man. I mean, I get it. Bro, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it actually. No, I don't get it because I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, man. Like,
hey, if Marvel and Disney think he's that valuable, and for me, I'm like, that's crazy. I would never do that. I would never pay somebody that much. But I'm not Disney or Marvel, so I don't know how much of an importance, I do. It's like if they're paying him that much money,
bro, that's because like, hey man, we need you. Yeah, we need you to come back, please.
80,
that's what that money is.
So the Russos, and I feel like, and I do feel like he was probably offered a producer credit too as well, but he probably didn't take it. Maybe that's probably just in my mind and everything like that, where I think he was probably offered like a producer role on.
I would take that producer credit because ain't that just more money?
It's more money. That's more money.
That's residuals right there.
You also it's more. I think you just get more like. I think Scarlett Johansson was a producer in Black Widow too. I think she got like.
What's funny? Anthony Mackie is not going to be a producer. He's also a producer in Captain America: Brave New World.
He is a producer. You said?
He's a producer too.
That's smart. Yeah, man.
He's probably getting
securing that bag right there.
Wow, 200 mil.
I think Scarlett Johansson might be an EP for Thunderbolts. Matter of fact,
she's probably getting a pay on that too.
There's that kind of Black Panther character, Black Widow type character with Yelena.
Because I think when Bob Iger came back because Bob Chapek, who was the CEO at the time when Black Widow came out, kind of like screwed that whole thing up, whatever. and that's a very messy time for all things entertainment and during that time. But I think when Bob Iger came back, he wanted to like right the wrongs that Bob Chapek did. He goes, okay, we want Charles Johansson to be like Disney, us, kind of like back together, like a good, again, because also too, Disney is Marvel, it's Star Wars, it's Fox, it's Touchstone Pictures, it's everything. You don't want to lose a bad deal with Disney over one of their brands instead of like when they have all these other stuff going on, like a Fox or whatever, or Hulu now too. So it's like that kind of makes sense. Wow, Twitter mill good for him, man. I mean, that's the dream. I mean, what a dream salary that is, man. Holy shit, like that's redonkulous, but hey, man.
I mean, and that's for both Secret Wars and also Doom, right?
Doom Day, yes, sir.
Yeah, because it looked like it was saying that's just for him playing Doctor Doom, and I think he's gonna appear in Fantastic Four: First Steps and Spider-Man 4. So he's like that was 200 mil. It's for like all of his appearances as Doctor Doom, like all together.
100 mil, man, and bonus. He got 100 mil plus bonus. He gets bonuses too, so that's man. And the Russos, I think also too. Russos to me is very similar to Chris Evans. That Russo's post Endgame hasn't had the best luck.
They wasn't really making hits like that.
No, they weren't, because everyone was like, "Oh, it's gonna be charity."
No, they worked on Gray Man too with them.
That was their movie. Yeah, I think the Gray Man is definitely their best movie post Marvel. Their first run at Marvel, I would say.
The great. I think also they did. Didn't they do that one other movie? Wait, they produced it actually, but also still the same thing, kind of with Chris Hemsworth.
Extraction. They wrote and produced it. Yep.
I mean, I thought that did really, really well, and it's funny because the director on that Extraction movie was actually the stunt coordinator for Avengers Infinity War and also Captain America Civil War. So
that's right.
Wasn't Chris Evans a stunt double, or he was like someone's stunt double?
He was Chris Evans' stunt double. Chris Hemsworth's stunt double, I think. Extraction. I think the guy did Extraction was Chris Hemsworth's stunt double in Infinity War and Endgame.
Okay, because I thought I don't know why I was saying about Chris Evans.
Extraction, yeah. First one was cool. I haven't seen two, but the first one was pretty cool. Sam Hargrave, there he is.
Director Sam Hargrave, yeah.
Sam Hargrave, that's right. Okay, I wanted the director of the picture. Let's see, Sam Hargrave. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think also he was the guy who shot, because it was the second AD or second unit director who shot. I think he shot the Thor Come to Wakanda scene in
that was a dope scene.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Sam Hargrave. Yeah.
Okay, Atomic Blonde, Extraction, Avengers.
Right, worked with David Leitch. Interesting. That makes sense. David Leitch and Stileski are the best.
Yeah, stunts for Civil War,
Ragnarok, Infinity War,
okay.
Suicide Squad, The Count, Civil War, Hunger Games. So yeah, he's Winter Soldier. You're right. You're right. My bad. I think he was doing Hemsworth and Chris Evans. Good for you.
That's insane. He worked on Runner. First off, that movie was very kind of just. It wasn't like underwhelming. It was just kind of. It was just whelming. The trailer was fucking dope though. I love the trailer though, where because it capped off with like, it was like Ben Affleck talking to Justin Timberlake, and he's like, if your boss says you got to go out there and take a beating, you go out there, take it, come back to work, and say, do you need me to do it again? Like when I saw that part of the trailer, I'm like, that's kind of bars though.
This movie has like a 2% Rotten Tomatoes.
It wasn't that bad. It was a little bit corny sometimes.
I like it
with. There was like one scene with like Gemma Arterton and Justin Timberlake where it was like, I guess they were like talking about like the night before. I'm like, y'all is whack.
They had no chemistry. And Anthony Mackie was just playing the random cop in that movie too.
Anthony Mackie was in that movie? How the fuck did I forget that?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying this in high school with some friends. And we're like, this movie's kind of dope. Going on Tomatoes, I was like, damn, 8%?
No, because when did that movie come
out?
2013.
2013. Okay, because I think that movie came out like around the time Affleck was like announced to be Batman. So that's why I wanted to watch it.
It was like a month or two like after.
No, yeah, because right after Man of Steel came out. It was like the 2013 Comic-Con. He had Zack Snyder had Harry Lennox come out and read that Dark Knight Returns quote. Yeah. And then it was like, holy shit, Batman. And then it was, like shortly after that, if I remember correctly.
It was like the same fall. I think it was like September.
That's insane. That's why I watched this movie. I was like, how's he going to be as Bruce Wayne? Because they had the shots of him like in the tuxedo with it was like his like goons or whatever like around. Okay, bad, but.
This movie again. This is a guilty pleasure. I like this movie a lot. People hate it. I think I have it on Blu-ray too. I like this movie a lot. Again, I feel like the 2010s like movies like this are so much better than the 2020 movies like this. Now, I don't know. It's just different.
Something happened, and it was like y'all just either forgot how to make good movies or just decided to start making shitty ones. Because also, like 8%, that's kind of fucking harsh. It definitely wasn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
I would give it like maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10, I think, bro.
I say 6%.
No.
That's even worse.
I was like, damn, that's worse.
It's even worse. I like this movie. Also, too, I think Timberlake's also is an underrated actor too. I love him in Social Network. Peter Travers, 1 out of 4. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like it's a very well-made movie. I give you that, but it does it for me for some reason. I was like, this is kind of like I don't know. I felt like those 20.
Maybe I gotta watch it again because I was like, 15, 16 when I saw it.
The slickest piece of garbage you'll ever see.
What a fucking review! Shout out to you, Kip Mooney. The slickest piece of garbage you'll see all year. The slickest piece of wow. That's insane.
I love reading these sometimes.
That's a really good fucking review. I'm gonna be thinking about that for. Days.
My favorite is reading them on a Letterbox. Letterbox does not.
Letterbox has some funniest reviews, man.
2.4. 2.4 is better than 8% we saw. Okay, here we go. Reviews.
What else has Brad Furman done? Because that name sounds
familiar. Brad Furman. What's he done? Lincoln Lawyer. I fucking love Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer was
that's
that
shit.
movie. That's a good one. I didn't see the take, but I saw Takers. With
is that Tyrese?
Yeah, that's Tyrese.
Yeah, I didn't see the take.
Rosie Perez,
and
Bobby Cannavale.
That's right.
Look at Forrest Whitaker. I was like, why am I in this movie?
Is that where Johnny Depp was trying to figure out who killed like Tupac or Biggie or something?
Oh yeah.
No. Oh yeah, it is.
Dude, Johnny Depp. What the fuck?
This movie just kind of like, because I remember like reading about it. I'm like, this movie seems like it should be a big fucking deal, and it didn't even come and go. It just fucking went.
Yeah.
But it's like, you talking about this? Let me.
Oh, sorry.
No, you good, bro. Jack Jackson reported that's what. Yeah, I got to see this movie. But what else were we talking about? Let's see the tape. Oh yeah, Forrest Whitaker. This is my city. But no, Lincoln Lawyer was a really good movie.
That's my shit. That's my shit. I love Lincoln Lawyer. I can't see Ben Affleck as villain. Okay, I'm sure there's a diarrhea joke in here somewhere.
My God,
it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. This should have been so much better than it was. I just wish it would come the other. Okay, slightly underdeveloped. You said whelming. That's good. I'm getting more reviews. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, 2.4 is not great. This movie's kind of like one of those forgotten 2010s.
It's one of those like, hey man, you feel like watching this? Yeah, I guess. Like, like it's 3:00 on a Tuesday. You ain't really doing nothing, but like it's not a bad movie. It's just like, yeah, we got a couple hours to kill.
Yeah, I think Leo DiCaprio produced this movie too.
It was it this one or was it Live by Night? Because I remember he produced Live by Night.
I think he did both.
Wow, this is insane.
Because I think
the fucking rabbit hole we're going down with these movies right now.
Yeah,
the lore.
Boring. It's a boring movie about gambling. I try. Oh man, I like Justin Villain. Meh. For some reason, it started playing in Turkish, and I thought I was having a stroke. By the end, I left it in Turkish, but I'm glad I wasn't having a stroke.
Damn, it wasn't that bad, y'all.
No, people are harsh.
People just like to shit on movies.
He's a free man. 11 out of 100. Affleck ruined me. I'm not gonna try.
Gauging starting line.
Ben Affleck's a cock.
What the fuck? That didn't even got shit to do with the movie. What the hell are they even talking about? But okay.
I'll give you that. All right, final thoughts. All right, Moses, what do you think? Good call, bad call for Chris Evans coming back for Marvel?
I mean, for the fans, you know what I mean? I think it's a for me, I would say for me, not for everybody and everything. I think I'm kind of more on like kind of like the medium side where I don't know what to expect. Essentially, I have thoughts and I have ideas on who I think he might be playing. Of course, I said Nomad. It's another sort of like alter ego of Captain America essentially. So I think he might be playing that. Since he can't play Captain America, since Anthony Mackie's character, since Anthony Mackie's already basically taken reins of that character essentially, and he's also going to be in the Avengers Doomsday too as well. So maybe he can. I'm not exactly sure, but if he does come back, I would personally just love him to play a different character, like Captain Hydra or Nomad and whatnot, but yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm more of like on the medium side right now, but I'm curious to see what happens. So
optimistic. All right, Nick. Final thoughts, man. What do you think? What do you think about this? Good or bad? In between?
For me personally, I'm with Moses. I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like it's too early to tell. I will say, like, it does feel kind of like, while I really enjoyed his tenure as Captain America in the MCU, I do also feel like I'm of the mindset, like, don't just start bringing everybody back necessarily just for, like, nostalgia. Because then you might kind of run into the whole, like, are you guys just not strong enough to continue without like the original six? And I don't know if like they're gonna like start bringing everybody back, but it's like, okay, you brought back Robert Downey Jr., you're bringing back Chris Evans. I hope this doesn't necessarily start a trend, but if they do bring him back, do something new, do something like potent, something impactful. Don't just retread shit. Because if I wanted to see the same shit, I would just put in one of the older movies. You feel me? So I am curious, and I guess as such a little excited to see what they do with it, though. I don't know, because I'm like Captain Hydra would be fucking dope. That would be like really cool. That I feel like could be even like a whole like maybe not necessarily a phase, but that Secret Empire event in the comics, like that was insane because he was just working all behind the scenes and like fucking shit up for everybody, bro. Yeah. And it even posed like certain like moral questions where it's like, because obviously like they defeated him at the end, but it was like, should we have put him in jail? It was because he brought up like this question, which it made you kind of like rethink everything, and he was just like an incredible fucking threat. So it's like if they were able to do that, I don't know if they would be able to do all of that in like the one movie, which is why I was saying like it would be good if he was just in Captain America Part 4 doing it, but I don't know. Like, I guess we'll see. I'm curious and kind of excited to see what they do with it, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of with both you guys actually. I'm on the fence about it a little bit just because, I do like the Russos a lot. I think they know the Marvel world very well, as we all know. With that said, though, it seems a lot like, why are they coming back now? Is it maybe it's a good story, but especially that Chris Evans at one point like he swore off, like he was like, I'm done with Marvel, like I'm tired of doing the Captain America stuff. So it makes me think that he's coming back as someone else. Because the way he talked about it, good for the opportunity, obviously all those years, but he seems like he's kind of like just like I'm done, like I'm ready to go, like it's my time. So I'm optimistic. Am I looking forward to it? Sure, but I'm not like overly like I can't wait for this. Like it's gonna happen. Like it was a lot of fun seeing him as Johnny Storm actually in
Deadpool Wolverine.
That to me was really funny. I was like, this I mean that works. So I hope again. I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I hope it's gonna be like definitely like worth coming back to, or at least like like this was fun to like experience again. But again, I got faith in the Russos. But again,
I hope it's like significant, like not just like a fun cameo.
Right? Yeah. I don't want to hear. I don't want to see like more desperate. Like, oh man, he came back for this. Like,
yeah,
like really? Okay, I guess. So yeah. Optimistic, but again, I'm not like overly excited about it. But we'll see. Like again, I do like being proven wrong about movies all the time. So hey,
I have a final question and everything like that. For that, I mean,
yeah.
One more piece of thought and everything like that. I hope that he does come back for. If he does come back, I hope he comes back for both. Avengers, Doomsday, and also Secret Wars. But I would say, who do you guys think in Avengers Doomsday in that last sequence, in that last, in the sort of like ending of Avengers Doomsday, and we had that fight sequence going on. Who do you think is basically like gonna be like leading the charge towards like a battle sequence and everything? Since we don't have Iron Man or Captain America and everything like that.
Yeah.
Before then, I always thought Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther would be taking charge.
Oh my God!
He would have. Yeah, he probably would have. He probably would have.
He definitely would have. But now it's like now I see more Sam Wilson's character.
I see that too. Yep.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Taking that reign, and also even whatchamacallit, Spider-Man, yeah. Those are the two right now in my mind.
So I think around like 2016, 2017. Because I remember it was freshman year of college, before Infinity War had come out. I honestly genuinely thought that like the trio after Phase 4 was going to be, to your point, Moses, I thought it was going to be Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, because it was like that would be, and Black Panther would be like just like the straight up leader of the Avengers while still doing his thing as King of Wakanda. I was like, man, I can't wait for that to happen. And then unfortunately he passed away. No one was fucking with Captain Marvel. And then, I don't know what the fuck really that they're doing with Doctor Strange. So it is kind of curious.
I mean, no one knows. Yeah. I don't think anyone knows.
I mean, I do think Doctor Strange could be that potential, like that, leading it. But I think
the only thing with that is like he's not that he doesn't have the capacity to, but just like the way that his arc is like I don't really see him. He doesn't even seem like he necessarily like wants to lead. Like he seems like, I would kind of want to be in control of everything, and I want everything to be done my way. But I don't really see him.
Yeah, I don't. You don't see him. Taking front center and everything.
No, exactly. So I feel like if anyone's gonna lead, it kind of has to be Sam Wilson, Captain America. That's just what makes the most sense to me. It definitely can't be Thor. Spider-Man, like I don't see him. Like I don't see as amazing a character as he is in the MCU. I also don't see this kid that technically nobody even knows who he is anymore. I don't see this kid like leading the charge against Doctor Doom and Doomsday. Doomsday is a low-key a whack title.
It could be because you have that connection with Peter Parker and Tony Stark, right, and everything. The fact
it's that connection, but it's like, is anyone gonna take him seriously though? Because if you got like Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and like Thor, like who the fuck is this kid?
I also want to mention too that Doomsday comes out May 2024. Sorry, 2026, and then Spider-Man 4 comes out July 2026, so the same summer.
Oh wow!
So there must be a tie from Doomsday to May 1st, 2026 is Doomsday, and then July 24th, 2026 is Spider-Man 4. So. That's gonna be curious to see how that kind of goes for.
I did not know. I didn't know Spider-Man was coming out. Like in July. I feel like they should like switch those.
It sounds. I thought Spider-Man was first. Then I think more sense if it was Spider-Man first, and then Doomsday. I feels like
it makes me wonder like why are they doing that though? Like is Doomsday gonna affect Spider-Man's life too? It has to. If Doom is. Potentially a Tony Stark variant.
I bet you it's probably they're gonna do the thing they did with Endgame and Far From Home. How Endgame had a huge effect on Far From Home.
Yeah, I can see that because I heard like in Part 4, like it's gonna be a situation where since like no one really knows who Peter Parker is, like he's basically given up his life as Peter Parker and he's just solely focusing on being Spider-Man all the time.
I'll watch, of course,
and that could even lead into like the black suit a little bit, because they're doing Secret Wars, so that would be interesting.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. And I'm hoping to see Andrew and Toby back too, all three of them again. But
No, one I literally forgot. Freaking, we still have the Fantastic Four, which they're gonna also be on,
summer.
Doomsday, and I feel like, do you guys see? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me and everything like that, but I also see, Reed Richards like taking up that like
he needs to be like the new Tony Stark, kind of like moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That's definitely him going forward for sure. Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
No, he has to.
Because I think that's also why they casted Pedro Pascal. Like they didn't get a no name for.
They got a franchise guy.
Yeah, they got like, everybody knows this guy, everybody loves this guy. He's gonna be our new Robert Downey Jr. moving forward. Even though it seems like what they're gonna be focusing more on like the X-Men and everything like that, which I'm excited for, to see more X-Men in the MCU. I'm excited to see just a live action, fully formed, fully established cinematic universe with all these characters. Like everything's not all separated. I'm looking forward to that, but
time will tell, right? Time will tell. All right. So guys, on that note, so again, let us know in the comments below. Again, comments on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple. Let us know, or DM us on Instagram, like what your thoughts about it. Are you looking forward to seeing Chris Evans come back? Maybe he's playing someone else that isn't Captain America. Who knows? But let us know in the comments and let us know on social media. We want to hear from you guys. With that said, as we conclude this show here at the podcast, we end our show with our one-and-ones. We do a one film show, was our one film recommendation and one TV show recommendation that we think is very worthy of us telling you about it. Or maybe you've seen it before, maybe you haven't, but hey, this is why we are telling you about our one-and-ones of the week. My friend, you want to kick us off with your one-and-ones of this week?
Yes. So for my television show, I gotta go with Shameless. I just started watching that, kind of on and off. I am not going to lie to you, but it's a really funny show. It's like, it's just crazy to watch because every single one of these characters, like, it's a rough situation for them. Like, they're kind of living in like the not such a nice place in Chicago, I believe.
I know the area very well.
And like, I had seen like some clips back in the day, and but it didn't really click to me until I believe last week, like why it's called Shameless, because like the character Frank, played by William H. Macy, he does like whatever the fuck he needs to do to kind of, not even just to get by, but just to like try to hustle somebody, even going so far as to use like his own kids. And like I was watching, I turned to Kayla, I said, this man is shameless. Oh. Oh, wow. You feel me? Like the fucking light bulb went off.
It's the Leo DiCaprio.
Like I can't do the whistle part, but he's like, oh. But yeah, I was like, okay, so like it was okay. Like when I kind of came to that epiphany, it was like, wow, I finally get it. But it is just, I like just kind of how, I guess how far the humor goes, and I like that it is genuinely just a shameless show. The stuff that comes out of these characters' mouths and the stuff that they do just to achieve their own goals, like, it's insane. And every episode is something crazy, but it's also like it can also be a pretty like heartfelt or even just emotional episode, but it doesn't feel like, it's not like a jarring like change.
I see what you mean. I see. Yeah,
so it's like that's really cool. And then from my movie, I gotta go with Hancock. I was just thinking about that the other day because that was another one I like rewatched. I'm like, dang, Hancock actually was pretty fucking cool. Because it's kind of, it's a take on the whole like Black Superman, and like the mythology that they had with them. Like they easily could have done at least another movie, but even just like there's no other. Well, there's like another superpowered person. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet. It's been out since 2008. But there would be like some scenes where it's just he's interacting with just like regular thugs, and he's still using his superpowers. Like that, there was that scene in the at that convenience store, like at the end, where the dude had the cashier like at gunpoint, and he was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I fuck with that. I respect that. He's like, you have the power to take anything you want, but can you take it? He's kind of like, can you really fuck with me though? And then he threw the fucking he threw like a Snickers bar at him, and the dude, just the way the action goes, like he flies out the window. There was like another scene where he's like walking up to some dude. He doesn't even look at him. He just like kind of grabs him and like throws him in like the back wall like that. And again, it's it's weird because it's not really a whole lot going on, but it still keeps you like entertained. It's still engaging. The emotional aspects of the story or of the character really is still it's engaging. And this was kind of at like the height of Will Smith's career, and it was like, oh wow, he's playing a superhero now too, and I'm a huge superhero guy, so I had to see that.
I think this was his biggest movie for a long time until Suicide Squad, right?
Damn, yeah.
I want to say this was like his biggest. I want to say this is like his biggest movie.
Like maybe Iron Man.
Really? You guys think so?
No. I mean, in terms of box office, like box office wise.
Oh, okay.
Biggest return. I think it's like this. I Am Legend, and then Men in Black at the time. I think when Suicide Squad came out, that's when it was like.
Yeah, because it was like
No, I'm wrong now. Sorry, Aladdin is his biggest hit. Was
it his biggest hit specifically because of Will Smith, or was it just like it's Disney Aladdin?
No, it's Disney Aladdin,
and
but like,
Will Smith.
But now his highest grossing.
No, I think.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But no, like Hancock. I feel like Hancock is a pretty underrated movie. It should have at least gotten a sequel.
It's Peter Berg, right?
Peter Berg, yeah.
And Vince Gilligan who wrote Breaking Bad, which is crazy.
I didn't know that he worked on
the script
on Hancock, but
I think Vince Gilligan like rewrote it. I think, or like polished it, whatever. Yeah,
like there's a whole story about like the original script, which I'm not gonna get into like right now. But even what's his name Michael Mann had produced it, and he had done Collateral, Heat, I believe.
Public Enemies, yeah.
Fucking Public. Dude, someone at my job was like, yeah, I worked on that movie. I worked on Public Enemies and Dark Knight. I said, are you shitting me right now?
Like,
he just
here?
casually, he's in my fucking department. He sits 2 seats in front of me. I'm like, dude. But yeah, so Hancock was fucking fantastic. And yeah, Peter Berg, and slight tangent, Peter Berg is also in the show Ballers.
The show Ballers, yeah. I love Hank. I mean, one of the best lines ever is like, your head going up his ass.
Yeah, as a kid, like when they actually showed that, like it was just it was incomprehensible. Like, I was like, his head is up his ass.
Or I love what's the line? Call me an asshole one more time.
Oh yeah, call me asshole one more time. He's like, so they fucking threw a kid in the sky. It's kind of it's little shit like that.
And I'll say this too. This has one of my favorite openings of any superhero movie ever. With
the highway chase.
Yeah, move bitch.
Yeah. No, that movie fucking goes.
Picks the fucking bottle of like whiskey. Yeah. He's just fucking flying on the LA highway. It's so good.
No, this movie goes. And originally it was gonna be they wanted Dave Chappelle for the role. And even before that, it was like Leonardo DiCaprio and George Clooney. But that's when the script was the original script. Yeah. Was just so incredibly different, bro. Like it's like
really,
yeah, because like how Hancock is like it's a superhero, and like he doesn't really because it was originally called Tonight He Comes, and the premise was like he's a superhero, but because he has like super strength, he can't really like he can't really be like intimate like that without potentially harming somebody, and like they alluded to that in it was like the extended edition of Hancock. Where like he was at that bar where he was like watching the news footage and he was like, "I'll break my foot off in the ass woman." There was another lady came in like with their friends and she and Hancock were feeling each other. Took her back to the room.
Yeah, that's the unrated cut, right?
The unrated, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the unrated cut. That's right.
And but obviously, if it was George Clooney or Leo DiCaprio in that role, like it would have been a very different movie. I don't think the plot would have been the same.
Yeah,
but it changed from like he can't really. He can't really handle his shit to like, I don't know who I am and, all that kind of stuff, which the route that they ended up going, I was just like, yeah, you could have, I'm not even saying like a whole trilogy necessarily, but you could have squeezed out another movie.
They could have.
You could have done another movie.
So much money.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, they should have done another like, another sequel or something like that,
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
they had Mike Epps in it.
I wish they still do. I hope they still do. I think they can.
Yeah, because it seemed like everybody wanted to do it, but I think one of the issues was, at least at the time, like Will Smith was just so busy, so he just he didn't have time, and obviously like Peter Berg he moved out like other things because he did not Lone Ranger, Lone Survivor, Patriots Day.
He did a lot of movies like around that time. It was like
Mark Wahlberg movies.
Yeah, a lot of Mark Wahlberg. Then he was also doing TV and stuff like that too. So he was busy. I mean, yeah, he was definitely busy. But Yeah, good movie. Good, great movie. All right, Moses. Floor is yours, my friend. What are your 1-and-1s of this week?
Yeah, I want to shout out, for you pointing out, first of all, Nick, for pointing out Shameless, because I seen that show,
Mm.
like I
That's
seen
good.
it. It's a great show, man. A buddy of mine, Joey DeBlanco, I think you guys
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
met
Of
Joey
course.
before and everything, but he introduced me to that show, and at first I was like, man, this is weird, and then I just kind of, got sucked into it because it
Yeah.
was all these like random, this crazy ass family and everything, doing crazy shit, especially the dad, who's basically taking advantage of everybody who he knows and everything like that. But it's a good show.
Yeah.
But my 101, I would say for show is a show called Arcane. I think you guys might know of it. I don't know if you guys do or
I've
not.
heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet though, but it
Yeah,
is on
same
the
here.
list with Haley
Yeah,
Steinfeld, right?
yeah. She's voiceover. She does a voiceover of one of the leading characters and everything like that. And it's a really really good show. I don't exactly remember, like I can't really describe the plot right and everything, but
You're not a true
um,
fan.
no,
I'm
I
teasing.
am.
I'm just joking.
I kind of just like watched it in like a blur, essentially.
Mm.
I watched it in like because there's only two seasons.
Oh, really?
So
Are they coming out with like a third one? I thought I just saw something about it not too long ago.
no, I don't think they're making a third one. I don't think so. I think I think the second season was a season finale and everything. But it's a really really good show. It basically follows like a really huge city, a fantasy city, and in that city there's also like a not exactly an underworld, but it's a city that's also built. There's a city that's also like built like beneath
Mm.
that city that's on top essentially, and it has to deal with like a lot of politics, magic too as well, technology, and it's kind of centered around like two sisters who grew up together and everything like that, who are now basically trying to, like not exactly kill each other off and everything like that, but who deeply hate each other now from an event that had happened to, kind of split them apart
Mm.
essentially.
Tragic.
And but yeah, it's a really good show, and animation is incredible, too as well. It's really really good. I was watching this, I was like, I know they took a lot of inspiration from, you know, uh, you know, um, uh, uh, Into the Spider-Verse. It took a lot of inspiration from that. You can kind of see it a little bit from from what you see now, but Haley does a really really incredible job with the voice acting, and yeah, it's just a really really good show. So I definitely check it out. If you haven't seen it. So yeah,
I'm with
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So my other 101 is this is more of a like a some people might consider this to be an indie film, but it just came out recently, and it's called The Piano Lesson.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it stars John David Washington,
My
Mm.
boy.
Samuel Jackson,
I
Daniel
know you told me about
Deadweiler.
that the other day.
Um, and it's directed by whatchamacallit, the son of Denzel Washington.
I think Malcolm, right?
Yeah, Malcolm Washington. So it's more on like the heartfelt kind of like a story that's based on a true story and everything, that's centered around like a piano, and it's was originally a play and everything like that. So, and
Mm.
it got nominated for a few awards for the Critics' Choice maybe, and for the Golden Globes. I think I'm not exactly sure, but it's a good movie overall. If you like movies that are centered around love, family, and hope and all that kind of stuff like that, it's a really really good movie. And you know John David Washington kills it in this film, you know, and yeah. So those are my one-on-ones, you know, that I would suggest.
I got to see this.
Watch and everything. So and yeah, go check them out. You know, go check them. No, I'm kidding. Go check them out.
Hell yeah, no, I will.
You should. I definitely watch the interview that John David introduced his brother on GQ.
Yeah,
it's a great interview because they love movies so much. And Malcolm was like, "Man, when I saw you on Tenet, man, I was crying.
Yeah,
man. Like,
yeah,
my brother's in a fucking Chris Nolan movie, man. This is crazy. Like, it's a really humble interview. The two brothers kind of interview each other, and like they have so much love for each other. But like, he was like, I still can't believe you were in a Nolan movie with IMAX cameras, man. What the fuck? Like he was just like geeking out with him about his brother being in a movie, and how like he was saying that when Malcolm went to set to visit him on Tenet, whatever, and he was saying that how Nolan gave him like one of the monitors to watch his brother, whatever. And he was like, man, this is crazy.
No, that's insane. That's awesome.
It's a great interview.
Yeah,
it's a sweet interview too.
What's crazy? What did he also say? He also mentioned something about like how, you know, Christopher Nolan said almost kind of they feel like
indie film, right?
Student film.
Student film.
It's just he said something about you would think how it's just like this crazy, like you have like
big budget,
you know, big budget. You have a trailer here, you have a trailer there, you have a trailer there, but no, it's just you have a few tents here, and it's just people like all surrounded in like a little camera. I mean, not like a little camera, huge ass camera, and it was pretty interesting to sort of like hear him talk about that, but. Overall, you know, Malcolm Washington did a good job, you know, on this film and everything, and it's a really, really heartfelt story. But there's a level of like thriller that kind of sort of like that kind of sort of like gathers as it goes and everything like that, you know. But it's a really good movie. So those are my one-on-ones, Nick.
Dude,
those are mine.
I like that. That's a solid list. That's a damn solid list right there.
Checkmate. He said, no. Also, that Washington family, man, is too damn talented, man. Everyone in that family is so talented. Yeah. But for my one-on-ones of the week, man, I'll probably do my show first. I'll keep it in the Washington family. I'm gonna do Ballers because we're doing our rewatch right now.
Yeah. How far are you in that rewatch?
I just finished this morning. I was doing some work in the background. I had that in the background. It's a really easy show to watch, and Ballers basically, we call it, it's the sports entourage. Mm-hmm. It's the sports entourage, as you were saying, it's like the kind of success porn of like, you know, working in like, you know, sports, whatever. I mean, it's very entourage-esque for like sports and, you know, like sports management and stuff like that. And again, Entourage is my top 5 favorite shows of all time. I mean, I love that show I really all my heart. Is it good Entourage? No, but it's a good really like cousin adjacent, I would say, to it. Yeah. And basically, I also think it's also The Rock's best acting performance, I think.
Yeah, because it's also kind of like, at least for me, like when I think about it, it's like kind of wild to me. Like he was just on a fucking TV show for like the entirety of the TV show. Like when I think of The Rock, I think about him as a movie star, not really like a television guy. And yeah, this one was cool because it wasn't like I like Dwayne Johnson a lot, but I feel like lately he's playing himself. Like it's like I have to be either like the funniest guy or like the one that kind of like always wins or like whatever the fuck. Yep. And I feel like his acting is just not even just his acting, but like his career has gotten a little bit stale. So when I was watching Ballers for the first time, it just kind of felt like this is actually him being an actor. Like it still is kind of like, well, this is, if I stayed in the world of football, this is how my life maybe could have like gone or something like that. But it's still like, well, you still see him like fucking up and like making some choices that like not everybody necessarily agrees with or whatever. So, but I'm with you on that.
It's a really good show. I will say this too. I've been honest with Entourage as well. Entourage to me, the first 6 seasons are amazing. Season 7 to 8 just really go down. You're just like, this isn't a show I love anymore. Ballers, I think the first 3 seasons are great. And I think it's like the same creators. You know, Mark Wahlberg and his team produced it. Steve Levinson, Rob Weiss, whatever. It's same producers, same writers behind Entourage. They just can't seem to like nail the last 2 seasons of their shows. Yeah, I do think if you can watch seasons 1 through 3, it's a great show. 4 and 5 just feels so like this is the show I loved a few seasons ago. You know, like the first season's like comedy. It's really funny. A lot of fun kind of charisma between Omar Benson and J.D. Washington and The Rock, even Rob Corddry and The Rock too. But then they go to L.A. for season 4 and 5 because then The Rock had a film shooting out there. It just feels like a whole different show. You're just like, oh God, excuse me. You're just like, man, you're just like, guys, what happened? Like, this isn't the show like I fell in love with. Like,
season 4 was definitely kind of weird, and like season 5, I liked it, and you could tell like, yo, this is the final season. You could tell like the budget was bigger and everything like that. But it felt more like a weird kind of like weird for lack of a better term, but it was more like. It was kind of like darker. It was more dramatic, and Dwayne Johnson's character was just doing some shit where I'm like, how the fuck? Like, you kind of just did this out of nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
He won that Emmy.
He did. And it got like, it tried to be too political, and like, this wasn't the show to be that.
Yeah, it tried to be like too heavy with some of it.
Yeah, because then when they brought Russell Brand in, it kind of felt really weird of like, this isn't the show y'all really were promising for all of us, you know, a few years back. And also, too, they kind of put Vern and Reggie kind of like side characters in season 4 and 5. Like, they weren't as like important as they were in the first few seasons. I was like, yo, they kind of like just like sidelined them a little bit. And again, I miss when like it was The Rock caring about his like these guys, like tightening up of his clients and his friends, like Vern and Reggie and Ricky and everyone. It kind of felt like that kind of like bond was kind of like taken away. Even with Chuck, played by Omar Benson. It was like, my man, like, why did they make him like really kind of like a really like anxious like guy? It was kind of just like, it didn't feel like it was
like his heart attacks and everything.
Yeah,
he was like, you've had when he was at the doctor's office, he's like, you've had like 2 heart attacks. I'm like, hell, you didn't realize that because it was like a couple of scenes where he's like, oh, I just feel kind of funky, but then it's like, yeah, to your point. He was just mad fucking stressed about like whatever, and it was just kind of like weird because again, it's like he was like kind of like Dwayne Johnson was like separating himself from everybody and just like doing all this like behind the scenes. This isn't a spy show, bro. You don't need to like go rogue and start like pulling some fucking, what was it?
I'm going after the league. It's
dude. Some like low-key Fate of the Furious type shit where it's like I have to act like I'm an asshole, but I'm really trying to save you. It was just like, I feel like you could have just clued everybody in on what you were doing.
Yeah, and I think the comedy declines after season 3. Like season 4 and 5 were more serious. You're like, no, bring the comedy back, comedy back, because like season 1 has some fun. The yacht party,
the party, yeah,
it's so funny. And then they seem to be like really funny too. But this seems it kind of goes down. But I still recommend the show if you like Entourage. Great soundtrack. Again, it is The Rock's best performance. Again, you and I we're rewatching it now. It's funny. I remember my first watching. I started watching it. I think our senior year in college, I was binging it, and Moses was like, "Are you still watching Ballers?" You're like, "Yeah." You're like, "Oh, I figured." Moses knew it too. Like, because I remember I used to wait for him like by his work at ASU, and I'd be in like the MU like eating food, whatever. I watch it on my phone, and Moses goes, "You watching Ballers still?" And I was like, "Yep." And Moses goes, "Good for you."
No, you know it's funny. Like I haven't seen Ballers, but now that you mention it, and also it's on HBO, like
you should watch it.
I might check it out.
It's a lot of fun. It's a really fast-paced show, but again, this heads up, the first 3 seasons are like superb, and then 4 and 5 just go down, if you ask me. But again, good soundtrack. It's a lot of fun.
Sorry, using that word.
It's fun. It's a fun show. Again, if you like very Entourage adjacent, but like sports, whatever. Again, also too, Chris Nolan was a fan of this show. How he kind of saw J.D. Washington for the first time. I mean, Black Klansman was a big part of it, but he was saying that no, watching Ballers was like how I kind of like saw him as my guy, and I was like, yo, that's cool. That's really fucking cool. Like Chris Nolan watches Ballers.
Dude, Nolan always kind of be saying like some surprising shit. Like he's a fan of Ballers, and like I remember someone asked him, "What's your favorite comedy?" He's like, "Talladega Nights, a Ballad of Ricky Bobby." I'm like that Will Ferrell movie, and then like he fucking quoted it. He's like, "How do we know you're telling the truth, Chris Nolan?" He's like, "If you're not first, you're last," and that was like the whole. That was Ricky Bobby's whole fucking like thesis in that movie.
Yeah. And
you know what's funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
He was also in freaking MTV Awards.
Oh yeah. For some reason. Remember that?
Nolan was?
Yeah, hold up. Yeah, when Tenet came out during that time when Tenet was coming out, he was like, "Oh, like Chris Nolan has Travis Scott in his movie," and he was like, "What?" And then sure enough, Chris Nolan up on the photo. Chris Nolan was at the MTV like Hip Hop Awards, whatever.
Oh wow.
MTV Awards. Oh, Chris Nolan.
Chris Nolan
Yeah, he
is
was just
definitely
like,
invited to the
you know,
cookout.
vibing to the music and everything. I was just like, man, this guy is strange.
There he is. There he is in the back. There he is in the back. Let me share my screen real quick. Hold up. Sorry for our audience. My apologies.
He seemed like the type to just not dance at a song, but when you ask him about it, he's like, oh,
There he is.
I quite enjoyed it very, very much.
Brittany Murphy, rest in peace. And there he's in the back during Eminem's performance. Well, why is he at MTV Music Award?
He looks like he's like stalking somebody. Like,
It's like, why is he there? He goes, from a next film.
because he looks dead serious right there.
It's just
was he there for? I wonder if he was there for Batman, because this looks like early 2000s.
I think it was like 2002. This
was a music
before
award.
Batman.
2002.
Yeah. Also, this is the music awards too. This wasn't for film. This was for the music.
Oh, what the fuck?
This is for the music. Yeah.
Because what was he working on in 2002? Was it not Memento? It was either Memento or Insomnia.
Insomnia. But still, though, that makes sense for the movies. But why is he at the music awards?
He was trying to holler at somebody.
It's just like it's just there wearing the same, the jacket and the shirt he does. It's like what the fuck.
He's like, this is the wrong room. Let me step out.
He's like, this wasn't the
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like, wow, I remember, who would have thought? But someone found this when Tenet was coming out. Like, oh, yeah, he's a hip hop fan. There he was at that TV music awards.
No, because when it was like announced, like Travis Scott was doing music for Tenet, I was like, what? Talk about genre bending.
It's so it's like it's just there. And for my movie of the week, ooh, this is tough. I have my list of like what have I not used yet for movies and shows. Man, that's tough. Man, I'm trying to think of what have I not recommended yet. Let's see.
Don't steal my one-on-ones, bro.
It's tempting. It's tempting.
I
got one. It's called Be Kind Rewind. You know this movie?
With fucking Mos Def and Jack Black. I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
Yeah, Michael Gondry, who I think he wrote Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, wow. I've been the wrong thing.
Be kind. Just be kind.
That's also very important. You know?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? That's very important for people to do, is to be kind.
Be kind. And it's a love letter because it came out like late 2000s. It was like right when Blockbuster was going out of business for the most part, and it was like these two guys, they run this kind of local. Danny Glover owns like the VHS video store or whatever. Two best friends, they both love movies. They're kind of just like the neighbor, kind of just like normal, kind of like normal like underachiever kind of guys. And one day, Jack Black gets shocked by this kind of like a power system, right? And the next day, because he got shocked, whatever, goes in kind of like almost like a zombie, touches all the tapes, whatever, and every tape gets erased. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh nope, and he's like, wait. And it comes back. Why? Ghostbusters isn't working. Driving Miss Daisy's not working. Rush Hour 2 is not working. Whatever. So basically, Mos Def and Jack Black had to go basically film all these movies and like tell the customers, yeah, this is Ghostbusters. Yeah, this is Driving Miss Daisy. Yeah, this is Rush Hour 2. Whatever. This is the one of Space Odyssey. It's a very sweet movie about people who love making movies. It's a very sweet, very kind of like heartwarming tale, but also it's a love letter to like the video store rentals, to the community that they're in, stuff like that. And then like them trying to do Ghostbusters, it's like, but all of them are like 45 minutes long too, which is so funny thing. It's like they're all like 45 minutes long, like not the full hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever. But then the FBI get involved. They're like, hey, you can't be doing this. This is illegal. But it's like, well, we erased those stuff. We're making it our own budget, whatever. But they're like no budget, whatever. The very sweet movie too, and it reminded me of like why we loved going to Blockbuster when we were kids, or the video store rentals that we were kids. But it's kind of again the whole kind of forgotten movies of like the late 2000s. Like again, it was a studio movie from Warner Brothers, but like not really a well-known movie these years later. But I remember as a kid, I just loved it because again, I love going to the video store with my family. I love Jack Black, big Mos Def fan, of course, because of his music. And it's a fun movie that again, it reminds you of like, hey, go make movies. You have a camera. Go shoot something, whatever. It's keep that dream alive. It's a very sweet movie that I recommend to see everyone. But I think it's hard to find nowadays because it's not on streaming anywhere. But if you can find it on like rental, you rent it on Amazon or whatever, or maybe the DVD of it. It's definitely worth checking out. It's a really sweet movie, really feel good, really funny movie too. So check out. I think it's Michael Gondry who did. Michael Gondry, I think he wrote and directed Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I believe. Be kind.
Gotcha. The reason I was thinking somebody else. I was thinking about that director that always wears, I forgot his name. I forget his name, but you guys know him. He's a director that always wears jerseys all the time. He's a little bit, bigger too as well.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Oh, I
Kevin
got
Smith.
you.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that's what
it feels like that a little bit.
Yeah,
it definitely feels like it for sure.
It feels like that. Yeah,
for sure. But no, Michael Gondry, who did, like I said, he did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He also did the Green Hornet with Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen and fucking Tom Wilkinson.
It's a fun movie. Thank you. I love that movie.
Yeah, I got that on fucking DVD. I used to have it on DVD, but no, it was good.
It's a fun movie. People hate that movie. That movie is hilarious.
The movie was great. My older cousin had that on DVD and everything like that, and man, that was funny, hilarious.
It's a funny movie.
It was cool too because I was like, I can't again. It's the whole superhero thing, and I'm like, Seth Rogen in a superhero movie. I'm down. I'm all for it. Yeah. And it was works. Green Hornet of all characters too. So I was like, I never knew that much about the Green Hornet, but it's fun. I knew a smidge of it, but
it's a fun movie.
It was good. Yeah, Cameron Diaz was in it too.
Cameron Diaz,
Christoph Waltz.
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
David Harbour is the villain. The villains.
What?
David Harbour is remember the dirty cop.
No, I don't remember that. I remember Christoph Waltz and James Franco.
That's funny. Cameron Diaz. That's funny at the beginning with James Franco.
Dude, no, that scene was wild.
Chodnowski.
Because also I'm like watching it, is that James fucking Franco? Just this random ass scene.
My favorite scene in that movie before we hop off in that movie is they're beating up the guys or whatever at the fucking statue, and then Seth Rogen gets the fucking statue head. He goes, "Eat shit," and he kicks the guy in the face, and then he runs away.
That movie was wild.
It's a fun movie. Also, I remember that 3D. That was a very good use of 3D. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Really, I only saw it on DVD.
It was seen there. I was like, why is it comedy in 3D? And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like the frame and the car stuff is really cool. It's a good movie. Very underrated, but good.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. 3D were big that time.
That era.
Early 2010s.
Yeah,
that era.
Big too as well. I remember watching. I remember watching Shrek in 3D in my own house, but the 3D was
on the Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, it was terrible. But people wanted to put Blu-ray movies in in your home screen and everything, but it wasn't done right.
Not a chief. It's a no for me, dog. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining this week on the show. Again, sorry, we have a little bit of a technical thing that you'll see, but again, nothing too big.
We still learning. We still figuring it out, everybody.
Wasn't our fault this time. Don't blame us. But again,
we're only ever gonna get better at.
But before we close the show, Moses, where can our lovely audience find you at home on the socials?
Yeah, you guys can find me at MosesLawi _. You can find my website, which is directed by Moses Lawi, which I basically post, which I have my work there too as well. Some short films I've done, some other documentaries work I've done too as well. You can find me there. And I am also on Threads, which is also connected to my Instagram and everything. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Yeah.
Nick?
You can find me on YouTube at Dawning Vision, capital D as in Dawning, capital V as in Vision, and on Instagram at Dawning Vision, all lowercase, all one word. And hey, if you want to follow my personal, it's Ahmad Johnson 98. And of course, you can always find me here at Midway Ave on the Genre of Your Life podcast.
Yes.
You already know.
Yeah,
you already know.
Yeah.
You already know. Just in case y'all wasn't sure.
I want to redo mine.
Hey, again, you still the best one from August. Again, I'm recording it where it was like, find me at your mom's house.
At your mom's house is fucking diabolical, bro.
Hey, you're not supposed to know
myself. This. I laughed too hard when you said that. So good plug.
Oh man. The live audience is not supposed to see this, you know. No.
And of course, you can find me on Instagram at TheYoungJones. You can find me on Twitter or X at CapriSun, SON. Of course, you can find our socials, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. For now, before TikTok gets banned from everything. All one word, Midway Avenue Productions. And of course, please come back to us again next week. Tell your friends about us, family, friends, movie fans, podcasts. We want to hear from you guys. Again, we're end the year on a strong note. Next week we'll have a little tease probably of our Craven reviews. We agreed to 13% Rotten Tomatoes. So time will tell. But until then, guys, please follow us on the show. Social, podcasting, YouTube, stuff like that. Enjoy our now YouTube, our long form video podcasting. And until then, my friends, we'll see you guys at the movies.